Bradley Beauchamp is with us. He's running for Congress, District 1, U.S. Congress. So many topics, as Tanya said, taxes, unemployment, drilling, the border. We can go on and on, but I want to talk just a minute because recently in the news, the Tea Party, which you've been endorsed by, meaning the Tea Party locally, Tea Party have been called racist. For the past 50 years, racism has been a big part of the American fabric. Talk to us about racism and the Tea Party. Are they racists?
Well, it's the old rule of law was when you make a good argument, you make the argument that's backed by the facts. But when you don't have a factually based argument to make, you make the emotional plea, you make the emotional argument. And the emotional argument in this sense is racism. You throw the word racism out and everybody's emotions come right to the surface. And so you don't have an argument against the Tea Party. So the only thing you can really say about them is, well, they're racist, it's racism. And you can't really tell an entire group this is what you are based off of what one or two people may have said. I've spoken at a lot of Tea Party events. I have seen a complete cross-section of America, men, women, Democrats, independents, Republicans, libertarians, African-American, white, it doesn't matter. They're there for the common goal, and the common goal with the Tea Party is we need to get back to the United States Constitution.
I think the Democrats and the Republicans are very much fearful that a third party will rise out of this and candidate.
I don't think the Democrat Party is fearful of that at all. In fact, I think the Democrat Party would love nothing more than to see a Tea Party come out of this. Okay. Because if you have a third party that comes out of this, you will almost guarantee every Democrat will return to their seat.
Exactly.
Because what you will do is you will split the conservative vote. You will split the constitutionalist vote. I myself am a constitutional conservative. You would split that vote because a lot of people like me would go with the Tea Parties. I myself, I'm a Republican. But the Tea Party would draw votes away from the Republicans, not votes for the Democrats. You would split that constitutionally conservative voting bloc.
Therefore, the Democrats would win.
And it would put the Democrats back in by the majority of the vote. And that's, so I think that they would be very happy to see that third party come along.
Bradley, we're in a tough economic time. Everyone knows that. Unemployment is the highest it's been, at least in my lifetime, our lifetime, I should say. And now, yesterday, we keep putting more money in to help the unemployed. Everybody wants to help the unemployed, but when does it stop, Bradley? When do we stop and people have to take responsibility for their lives?
Well, I mean, and that's a good question. And California, Berkeley, and I love to use this because Cal Berkeley did the poll, did the study back in 2006, and they find that when you create an entitlement program, and you extend entitlements, you increase the number of people who will get on entitlements. It's not an incentive to get yourself off of that entitlement program. By extending unemployment, the study showed, you actually extend the length of people being on unemployment, and it creates more people getting on unemployment. And that was a Cal Berkeley study that proved that. Good question. When is enough enough? Currently, they're arguing to extend it for 99 weeks, which is almost 2 years.
But to stop this entitlement circle that we're on, government has to get out of the way and let small business step in so there are jobs for these people.
The only thing government should look, government doesn't create jobs. Government's job is to create a business-friendly environment,
atmosphere for them,
and then get out of the way and let the free markets, the entrepreneurial spirit, and like you said, the small business, which employs 75% of America, take over and grow under the free market system. And the government's not doing that. Instead, we're seeing more and more regulation being passed, which stifles economic growth. The biggest enemy to economic growth is uncertainty. And what we have right now is we have uncertainty with the health care bill, which is now healthcare law. We have uncertainty with cap and trade out there. We have uncertainty with potential amnesty and immigration reform, card check. There are a cap and trade. You've got a lot of these bills that are out there that are creating uncertainty. Nobody wants to grow their business when you don't know how big your carbon footprint's going to be, or how many people you're going to have to provide health insurance for. Or is there going to be a forced unionization of your job, in which case you're going to have to negotiate with a union or have the government step in if you can't negotiate and set your pay rate and your benefit packages. So business doesn't want to grow when there's all this uncertainty on the horizon.
To stay on business for just a moment, many businesses moving business overseas, many people don't like that, but we're being taxed into oblivion, at least from the business standpoint.
That's why so much outsourcing?
Absolutely. I think the United States has the second highest corporate tax rate in the world. world.
Arizona is, yeah, and we fall right in.
Absolutely. Arizona's is very high nationally for their state tax rate. There's a reason why business goes from California to Texas and from New York to Florida, because they have created a business-friendly atmosphere within those states that is now drawing business to them rather than maintaining where they are. New York's taxes go up. New York business goes to Florida where they don't have the tax rate.
And Nevada is playing with the idea of raising taxes also, and that's going to just, you know, they've always attracted businesses because of their low tax base.
Absolutely.
But what makes your 7-point border security plan different than anyone else's? Thoughts about the border?
My border plan came from actually going to the border and talking to the rank and file men and women of the United States Border Patrol. I went down and talked to those who have the boots on the ground, who are walking, looking at the fence. I watched a Border Patrol agent scale the fence in 4 seconds. He went up a 20-foot fence. I know exactly from their standpoint what fence works, what fence doesn't work, what plan works, what plan doesn't work. For example, a lot of plans call for the unmanned aerial vehicles, the Predator drone aircraft. Border Patrol agents don't like those. They want helicopters. Helicopters have 3 times the efficiency of the unmanned Predator aircraft and at half the cost. So we're saving money and we're becoming more efficient at the same time. And I know that's kind of an anomaly in government, but I think it's the way we need to start going in light of it.
Governor Brewer has asked for the helicopters, I do believe.
Correct.
That. Yes, and now 1,200. Is it today they're being deployed?
They're supposed to be deployed, I believe, by August 1st. It's 1,200. Arizona gets about half of them.
Exactly. That's what
my plan called for them not to be on the border, but rather to be in a support role. It's nice to hear the administration actually heard me, because that's their plan as well. Because when you put them in a support role, they're doing the job they've been trained to do: radar, surveillance, and you're freeing up Border Patrol agents to go to the front lines, who are the ones who have been trained in drug interdiction, human smuggling. They know the telltale signs by dealing with that problem and being trained for that problem.
The front lines on the border are just as dangerous as the front lines in Afghanistan right now.
I've got family there that are fighting the good fight for us.
Without question. Bradley, we didn't even get to drilling. Drill baby, drill, as they say. But we wish you all the very best in the upcoming elections.
Thank you. And I'll come back if you want to talk about drilling.
It's open to you. When we come back, the Venerable Agape Lama talking about the Garshan Institute, Buddhist Institute, right here in Chino Valley.